Welcome everyone to another session of our Theory U Around the World series, where we at Bidu invite remarkable practitioners to explore together how Theory U is being practiced in different countries and fields. Today, we have the great pleasure of hosting Jayce Lee and Crystal Huang, two inspiring practitioners who've been working with Theory U in different contexts around the world and were both born, raised, and live in Taiwan. Jayce is a core faculty member at the Presencing Institute. She's been driving and holding the visual practice movement and the ongoing development of visual thinking as a vehicle for social change across the Asia-Pacific region. Crystal is a facilitator, coach, and social artist who practices Theory U and social presencing theater, focusing on cultivating awareness and supporting social and ecological transformation. She's also a connector, bringing together diverse communities to co-create a more regenerative future. In our conversation today, we would like to turn our attention to their work in Taiwan. Over the past few years, they found in Theory U a language and a set of practices that help cultivate a social field, one where people come together to create social change and to nurture a more desirable reality. Together, they've published 3 books of Theory U in traditional Chinese edition in Taiwan: Generative Scribing by Kelvy Bird, Social Presencing Theater, The Art of Making a True Move by Arawana Ayashi, and the recent book on presencing by Otto Scharmer and Katrine Kaufer. We are delighted to have you both with us today. So let us start with a bit of context. What is the change you wish to create in Taiwan? What is that you deeply care about and hope to bring into the future?
Well, first, thank you, Danielle, and also Yael for inviting us to come into this conversation and dialogue. We believe it's going to be an ease setting, and it's actually quite a big question to ask. And first of all, I felt that this is, for me, I'm an ordinary person and with a fairly simple background. I grew up in Taiwan, and for me, change is happening all the time. So instead of making change, I would say I'm constantly adapting to change. I'm constantly adapting to what's happening around me and find way through and be creative. So that is the first kind of opening. I'm not sure if that responds to your question, but that's how I felt. The spirit I'm holding when coming to facing the word change.
Thank you so much. Crystal, do you want to give us a bit of insight how you're thinking about it?
Yeah, thank you. I'm a mom, and when I have son, I feel my role is changed, my intention is changed. So when I feel I have a lot of love with this island, and I see we struggle a lot of things, especially Taiwan is island, but it's a country or not, we are still figuring out. So and now we have a very comfortable situation in Taiwan. So my wondering if possible to make people can have more deep connection, because we live in the same island, but we are not enemy for each other. We are friends, we are partners, we are families. So I just wondering if possible can create a very have a lot of love island in Taiwan. So that's why I think, especially for my son, for the next generation. So I think that's what I want to do. I want to make a change in Taiwan now.
So in this sphere, I feel like you're describing kind of the sphere in between adapting and creating. sphere of life. We wonder who are your partners to this whole process. We know that you have some more partners, and how did you get to bring some more people inside to this movement?
Yeah, that's a good question. I would say start with friends that we feel connected, that feel trust. So it actually start in a very intimate setting, and because in that kind of relationship, there's a sense of safety that for me to open up, for them to open up, and then there's a dialogue happening, there's a conversation, and there's ideas, and in that kind of situation, that can apply to with that kind of as a context, and anyone who comes in along our lives, that there's the sense of a resonance happening, and then I lean into it, and without setting up this preconceived idea first. I think that's quite important, just to keep that curiosity open, and then lean into the question, either my question or their question, in that kind of gesture, and that creates a possibility to connect with potential partners.
So I understand that for the last 5 years, you've kind of turned your camera more into working within Taiwan, and you've developed different prototypes. If you can share a bit about what you've been doing and what is the context in which you're working, so we'll kind of shed light about that.
Thank you. So it's, before that 5 years, my footprint's pretty much everywhere in terms of, because my work as a visual practitioner, so I engage in different settings, different contexts, working contexts, and that bring me to different part of the world. A lot chunk of time in Asia Pacific, and like in China, and also other countries as well. So I was basically in and out of the land, the Taiwan I was born, I was raised up, and that I came from. So you mentioned about this turning the camera. So that shifting moment was actually COVID in my life. That is a big turning point, because it shut down things for me in terms of how the way I work, the way I used to connect, the people I used to connect with, the place I used to go to. In that shutting down, I need to make a choice. Either I parallel and get and whine about it, or I need to do something, because I cannot just stop there. So in that moment, I realized, okay, I turn around, I just look around. Here I am in Taiwan. What can I do if I'm not going anywhere? What else can I do? Before that thought came, actually, I met Crystal for several years. So she encouraged me to, maybe you can just bring what you have learned, what you have experienced, and start something in Taiwan. So that was the moment that we start to collaborate intensively and closely, and yeah, I'll talk about the partner, that she's a very important partner for me to kind of land it and anchor in Taiwan, and just kind of channeling my creativity, back to the place where I came from. So that was a big realization in a way, because, there's a saying, what's this phrase says? About energy and attention, where
Energy
your
follows
energy follows attention. So because my attention is here, the energy came and it follows. So with that intentional decision, Theory U, I have been collaborate with Presidency Institute since 2012. And how I met Theory U through my work, it felt like, okay, maybe it's a restarting in a way, it's a resetting, but in that resetting, I'm not coming with nothing. I have something I can contribute. So that's something for me is visual practice so in that exploration, you mentioned about the book, which we felt it's very critical, for something that we can bring it back to the place that we are familiar with, that and we can use it in our own language, Taiwanese or Mandarin, and having something physical, it helps the knowledge travel. So that's why we came into this publishing with very tiny 2 individuals. We have an entity, but what is matter is not the size, it's really the quality. So we hold the intention strong, and we focus on the quality, and quality takes time. It's slow at the beginning, but it's totally worth it. Now looking back 5 years, all that insist, we want to have this a good quality translation, because we want this kind of, stay true to the authentic or original message. So that's pretty much the journey in a way.
Crystal, can you say a word about your journey in this respect of kind of turning your attention and work in Taiwan?
Yeah, I think I met Theory U in 2015 because I'm a coach, and that in that moment, coach is very famous in Taiwan. Most of coach have to learn Theory U, but it's only in coaching field. And then I think for COVID-19 is really a turning point. We start build a community online session. I in that moment I made so many young generation. They are activists. They are change makers in social environment, like environmental or like farmer. I met so many people, and I learned so many, and I learned from them so much. So I think that moment we got so many supportive and resources from the community. Even though the translator, they are teachers, they are volunteer to help us to change the book, because she just feel we have the same intention. We all want to build a beautiful love community, the society in Taiwan. So they want to do that with us. So in that moment, I think we are not alone. It's very resonate about islands of coherence in that moment. It's like in the beginning only have 2, me and Jayce, and then we have so many. We invite people to share their story in our community, and people can register on free, and then they're listening the story, and they want to build their story with us, and then become a community, become a friend, become a family, like a family. So in this moment, I feel our community is not belong us. Now me and Jayce, it's most of people, they are in Taiwan, they love this island, and we know each other, and we love each other, and we want to support each other. So now I feel it's all about love, and yeah, and I want to, it's gratitude for people trust us, for people really unconditional support us. it's really juicy moment in my life. Yeah, that's my experience.
I want to
Yeah.
add something about the word love. I found in the context and the environment and the time we're living, hatred is very, very easily achieved because it's like erode. In a way, it's eroding. It's eroding the humanity in an unimaginable way. It's happening. And sometimes if it's so huge that it is kind of suffocating. But turning attention to love, it's a way I felt. It's a way to face that erosion, and it really takes the space, that space of willing to take a pause and really feel and sense into what I'm feeling right now. Not just myself, but what's that between me and others. I think the appreciation of providing a space for that sense of sensing is so critical and so fragile and so precious this time. And what I mentioned this is I felt what we are doing now, in this part of the world, we are thousands of miles away, from where you are, and we're speaking the language that is not our first language, but we take effort. I'm not taking the credit for doing this, but I'm saying that there are many people, here, in different part of the world that might not say the language, that is so easily understandable, but there are other creative way to express, through storytelling, through what we're doing here now, embodiment practice, this artistic expression. I mean, those kind of language are really the drill for this moment in time, and those are what we found that in Theory U is, and all the practitioners and all the faculties and the network community tap into. This is not about theory, it's really about movement, a movement of activating our awareness and our resilience to face the time we're living now.
Oh, thank you for this, Jayce. I feel your words. We're speaking from this place in the world, from this region, which is bleeding these days. We are in a war, a severe war, and I feel your words as a praying for us. That's the way it landed in my heart, kind of a praying. Thank you for this. Thank you very much. I would like to ask you, it seems like you started very simply and modestly with very close friends, and you enlarge your circle. And now we're speaking about the community that you are cultivating, a community that you're cultivating your social field with qualities that you wish to enhance in your social field. I would like to ask you whether you already recognize some fruits that are being emerged out of this cultivation that you are involved in. Some things that you say, well, this is a fruit, a good fruit of these 5 years of cultivation. If you can point a few fruits like this that you recognize from this cultivation.
Yeah, I think in the beginning we are in our community, most of our people are very curious about the methodology about Series U, because they want to know what Series U is and what's describing what is SBD is. And now I think most of people, they are not curious about this methodology. It's about how can I really listen to others people, and how can I really cultivate the social circle together. Especially now, I'm very excited about, because in the beginning we have like my age, most of participants are my age, and then young generation, they came in, they are social change makers, and they don't know what the methodology is, but now we became a friend, and they come with us to ELP, or they co-learning with us with the presencing or series SPT. And we use this methodology they use this methodology in their organization, in their group, in their NGO, NPO. It's very, for me, it's very, it's my, for me, it's a juicy fruit, because I think it's not because I want to learn something I'm an expert. It's because I want to be part of this work. I want to really do, I knew my work, and I knew the future I want to amplify. So I try to cultivate the soil and with us. And I have a very specific experience. Last year we have a 4D mapping about democracy. In the before, I don't know the power, how can sustain the power of our 4D mapping. And someday a participant sent a message to me this year in about February or March. She shared with me in the before, she didn't care about the political in Taiwan. She didn't care. But after the 4D mapping, she see and she quiet, and she saw the system is stuck very long time. And then in that moment, she changed her perspective. She care about this island. She care about the political. It's not because I'm right or you are wrong. It's because I love this island. So I think we don't have a very ambition future what we want to create. But now, for me, but every time when I have a conversation with that last participant or these friends or this community, I feel we don't have to talk too much. We don't have to explain too much, but we love each other. We knew what we are doing, and we can easy to share and really from me to we to collaborate together. I think for me is what I put my effort to bring to Taiwan. This is my personal experience.
The fruit I see is in stories. Tiny story, personal experience. And when there's a way and there's a space to make those experience and make those story to be heard and to be seen and to be felt, I think that's the nutrient to support the growth. Or rather I say to support the emergence. So what's really matter is also how the inquiry is how might we create that sense of space in order for a tiny story to flourish. Because every story has a context. My story is also your story because we are all standing on this ground, on the planet Earth. It's inseparable, even though physically we are apart. But there's something deep under that we share the same root. So if we can direct that kind of inquiry to the to be curious of what are the shared roots, even the result look different, we look different, our upbringing are different, but what are the shared roots? And we can create, how might we create that fertile soil for that seed to grow and have the fruit that we all desired. So it's a not ongoing inquiry. To me, it's like a life exploration.
So you've mentioned, and that's it's you hear it, so you speak so loud and clear, like the core and the essence of what theory is all about, right? The emergence, the space, the jewel that there is in the engagement with the social arts. I wonder, I know that from our practice and I guess elsewhere, at least in the West, there's some of this could be perceived by others with quite a lot of cynicism and quite a lot of skepticism. Like it's a language, a whole paradigm even that is very different from what people speak in, if you'd go to business organizations or to public organizations, right? And I kind of wonder, how is that perceived within your community? How is that received? What are the challenges that you're encountering in this respect, and how have you addressed them?
Such a good question. Like I asked many times, but now I realize, rather than telling people what it is, just live it, and in that living of, like, I have my own self-doubt, I'm being cynical to myself, and how I encounter that and how I adapt to that. So it becomes, now I look back, the work we're doing, most of them are not, we are pursuing, to go. But actually, it's the people become curious about what we are doing, and in that kind of sense of curiosity, it opened up conversation, and it takes time. It's never like a one click you solve everything. No, there's no magic. It takes patience. It takes engagement, and it also relates to what Yao said about the fruit. People that we collaborate with are friends, and I think friendship, relationships really matters. And we engage with educational sector, with friends who are professors, who are teachers in the public school, in the university, in high school. They are actually the front line. They are the front lines. They encounter some challenges. So we have a conversations, and then together, it's like this together things. Let's find out what else we can do together. So it's like if there's a gesture, it's not like face to face. It's like side by side. I think having that kind of side-by-side gesture with someone who has a question, has a challenge, I think in that gesture, there's a sense of we are equal. I'm not the expert that you are the being, told to do something. No, I think in that first step, it's very important, to kind of establish this mutual trust and open up to anything that will come after.
Yusuf, is there anything you want to share about like challenges and obstacles that you're encountering from others, and what's your take on that?
I think we are most of the same. The Thai, they don't understand what this methodology meaning, and especially for the art part in Taiwan, they are very afraid I'm not artist. I'm not artist. Before I'm in the same situation. Yeah, it's social presence theater. I'm an actress. How can I play? I don't want to be so. Yeah, but I think most of people are observe what we are doing, and including the organization leaders. We are friends. They curiosity, but now they need courage to step in because they are leaders in very big organization. So they observe, but still have a lot of communication with us. So I don't know, I be patient, takes time, but I think maybe one day, but now I think at least they follow the book. They're really they're really reading the book, and they really try to understand what the meaning is. For us, it's very good, a big gift for us.
I want to add something.
Mm-hmm.
I want to add something about this. How do we face those challenges? And we use like I like to draw. So I'm a visual artist who like to draw, and Crystal, she's doing. So we're engaging with theory U, not from a cognitive perspective in a way, right at the start, but more from this kind of artistic way of approaching. And that's not something we've been taught at school. Taught read a book to be a good student, but tapping into this artistic side really frees up the whole thing. I mean, in that sense of freeing the self up, and there's something magic in the freedom. So I felt like, in art, and also in theory, you talk about the social art. It's not doing the art for the self. It has to be social. It has to be engaging. It's going out there. So when we engage with the community or individual or group, we engage in different way. For example, well, we do that when we have our friends coming together. Without saying too much, we just hand out a piece of paper. We do little conversation by drawing each other's face in 30 seconds. Just observe and draw one by one. So it's not about being it's not a drawing competition, but after 30 seconds, everyone just shows up that image. Each image is so unique. So, I mean, just be playful and also be creative, finding fun way, creative way to engage. I think that's the first step, to kind of open up conversation.
You mentioned the words courage and freedom. Crystal, you talked about courage, and Jayce, you spoke about freedom. And I want to ask you about the connections between them, and also where do yourself, and where do other people that you mentioned, Crystal, you think they take the courage from? Like how the courage emerge?
My personal experience or wow. I think I'm the I think from in my life, I always courage to face the challenging part because in my life it's not very easy. Yeah, I grew up by ourselves because my parents they divorced, and I knew the situation always not stable, so I have to face the challenge every day, every time. So and until how can I don't know how to say that the question. I never think about fear. I'm not fear. Now I only fear about earthquake. Honest, because it's I don't know, unpredictable.
I get asked a lot about a question. Do you scare when you scribe? And my answer is I always scare when I scribe. Every time, even though people give me this unbelievable face that I done this so many times, but every time, the first emotion is fear. But I have a friend, which is courage. It shows up and make a choice. So I use this as a metaphor because it's really about choice. When there's a choice, there's a freedom. And that's also response to, you hear, there's a freedom, there's a courage. They are intertwined. And that thread are about choice. If we're losing those threads, when we don't have a choice, we get paralleled. So choice it's not given by others. It's self-initiated. So throughout these years, I realized, trust myself, I have that choice. Always. It's a choice of not to act, or it's a choice to act. It's that simple. And no one can make that choice for me. So I have that choice. So that sense of agency, that sense of self realization become an important chord to hold me through different challenging time, even though fears are everywhere, lurking at the back. But it's okay. I have a choice.
I feel very strongly in hearing both of you that there's both a very strong core, like a personal thread in it, and the community that you've mentioned of how it's supporting each other and the relationships and the bonds and the love that has been created within this community. And I kind of, if someone is listening to us who's, lives somewhere else and within their own space, want to create some social change in their own context. What has your experience taught you that you would give them as kind of advice about how to go about to create, because oftentimes we think about them as a bit kind of almost like attention, this inward work of being very, very clear and this community building. And it was very alive in what you said, that you're holding both. What advice would you take out of it, of someone wants to start initiating in their own context?
Well, I have been thinking about those similar questions, and I have 3S. So one is starting small. Starting big will just scare myself to death. So don't do that. Starting small. Starting with, just around, circle around you, small. Because in that incremental of, building the something also builds confidence. So starting small. And the other one is staying open. Never easy, but still, because it's not easy, that doesn't mean you don't do it. But this gesture, it allows new thing to come in. So the other one is seeking cracks. It can be something that is a crack is not always scary in a way. It's similar to the second S, which is that opening, because in the crack, I remember there's this phrase by this Canadian poet and Leonard Cohen. He has this really famous quote about the light through the crack. I think in that metaphor and also the image, it really has a lot of hope in it. So that's my little 3S.
And the cracks are where the light comes in, right?
Kristen, would you like to add something from your perspective?
Thank you. Me and Jayce are very different style. Honest, I spent, in Taiwan most of the time. I really deep connect with the community. I spend so much time because I think connection is very important for me. To connect, deep connect, it's not like say hello. It's because for me, the community need spend time to cultivate. And as a community host, for me, authentic is very important because people always observe your behavior, my behavior. So align with you are doing and what you say and what you talk, but you do what you talk. For me, it's very important. And then with hope, because need time is very slowly and need passion. Sometimes you feel as lonely, and even though only have 2 or 3 people to participate, in the beginning only 3 or 4 people to come to join the event, community gathering. But I think even though have only 2 or 3, they will bring a lot more people to come. So with hope, because everyone come to here, willing to spend the time with us because they want to change. They want to be the changer, and they want to connect with people. So need take time, be patient, be hope, be love, be authentic. Thank you.
Thank you. We usually ask, like as a final question, I think you already told us a lot about it, but I will ask it, maybe something more will come up. In what ways working with Theory U influenced you personally?
Oh, it's so hard to put it in language.
Maybe you start with a gesture, Jayce. It's part of your language.
Or drawing.
Oh,
Yeah.
drawing.
Yeah.
Ah, in what way theory influenced me personally? I want to show you something. Not the whole thing, but just give me a second. I have this roll of brown paper when we were in Japan and doing the scribing workshop. It was given by one of the young scribe. So we took it home because we can use it again. And we started this book reading club. So for me, Dear You is like this roll of brown paper. It was blank at the beginning, but through listening, so I was a scribe for the online book club. So they are having a conversation, Crystal and other facilitators facilitating the process. So I was listening, and then I started to draw. So I decided we have 7 sessions. So I decided just to draw and keep drawing. And just keep drawing for every session. So this is session 2. So I'm not going to cut it. So Dear You, for me, it's like this roll of long paper. When it's finished, I have another roll to fill. So it's a continuous process. It only ends when I want to stop. Yeah.
What a beautiful answer.
For the beginning of my career life, for the in the first 20 years I working in the bank, it's a very efficiency area. It's talking about the capitalism. It's about capital. And then I met Coach Master You. I think it's helped me to think about who am I and what's my work for my life. Even though I have a cancer 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and it's very serious situation, but I have hope, and I'm very positive to face that chemotherapy and operation, and I feel I knew what for my rest of life. I don't know what I can do, but I knew I'm in the right path because I want to be a good ancestor. I want to be to save the world for my children, my kids, and for the next 7 generation. So I think it's like a gift. My emotion more smooth, my pace slowing down, and most of the time I ask myself a lot of questions. So it's like before I'm very efficiency, and now I rather to have a very deep conversation, slow pace with friends, with family, with communities, and really want to spend so many time with nature to support the farmer thing, or the change maker activist. It's not about the profit. It's not about the money. It's about I love these people. I love this this earth. So yeah, it's changed me a lot, really. So I'm really happy I'm now still healthy after the very serious past, and I still positive to see the future. And yeah, and I'm so lucky because considering you, I knew so many friends. If I in bank, I would never met them. But now I met this very lovely friends because you, because SPT, because of the community. Not only in Taiwan. I always remember Angela always share with me when Jayce and I go to friends, and you know the Taiwan situation is very dangerous in that moment, and most of people see the situation always say worry about our safety, and Angela always told me you have to remember you have home in German. So if you met any dangers, please come to your another home. For me, it's very generosity and really love. Yeah. I think I seriously you now the gift is not about the series. It's about the people. It's about the community. Yeah, that's my share. Thank you.
I want to thank you too greatly. I think this conversation was a gift. I think you really it really felt how Theory U touches people's hearts, our lives, and I want to thank you so much for sharing this with us so genuinely.
Well,
Also,
definitely thank you, Yael, and also Danielle. And I mean, having this opportunity to connect in this way is, we never thought that would happen, but then it happened because we do have this kind of shared understanding about something that is for the betterment of humanity.
I want to share that, although I feel I gained a lot of so much inspiration in this conversation and have so much to think about. I especially physically feel my heart enlarged in so many centimeters. I feel like if we would continue this conversation, my heart will explore. And I feel that it kind of embodies what you are speaking about. You made us, although we are so far from each other, although this conversation happens in Zoom, it embodies. And I want to thank you for this.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Danielle. Yeah.